Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hello. I thought I closed it out. I couldn't find the screen. Hello and welcome to
I think we're good.
Castle.
Are we good?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. I think we're good.
Okay. I'm like, what is happening? Technical difficulties today. I'm getting a little
Can you hear me?
message can you not hear me? This is fun. So, welcome to Going Beyond the Castle, where we have tech and audio issues periodically. I think it happens a little bit more than we would like to admit, but here we are. I love when Ashley is gone.
Are we good?
And she's back. Are you back?
Can you hear me?
Are you
Are
not
we
back?
good? I think I'm good.
Oh my. Okay. I was going to say, should we start over? Should we disconnect and start over?
Man.
One times.
It wouldn't be Going Beyond the Castles if I did not have internet difficulties. I'm going to go live over on TikTok now.
Sounds like a plan.
I can get added in here real quick. Sorry about that. Man, I was having all these difficulties weeks ago, and I was like, I'll buy a router for, the bedroom I'm in. That way the internet will be better, and it hasn't. It's probably gotten worse at this point.
Oh, no. Well, I thought I closed out and left the studio, and because my screen just went blank, and I was like, oh gosh. But then it popped back on and realized I was live by myself. So great.
Yeah, well, I left and came back thinking, oh, this will fix it, and I wasn't quick enough. I'm sorry. Anyways, welcome back to Going Beyond the Castle, everyone. I am Ashley Rood. I'm joined by my lovely friend and co-host, Lori Talamo. We are here every Thursday evening, powering through all the technical difficulties at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. My cat, if you're watching on TikTok right now, my cat has just decided that this ring light is way more important than any operation that I have going on. Callie, get out of here.
That's funny.
We're live every Thursday evening at 6:30 Central if you are down in the New Orleans area by Lori, or 7:30 Eastern if you are up in the Indianapolis area by yours truly, Ashley Rood. Our episodes drop every Tuesday. Every Tuesday morning, our episodes drop. So if you're not hearing this in real time on a Thursday, then you will hear this hopefully on Tuesday morning because you're eagerly awaiting our podcast every morning.
Yes.
Going Beyond the Castle is your one-stop shop for anything travel-related. Typically, we talk about Walt Disney World. Tonight, we're changing it up. We're talking about Universal Studios. We love to talk about the travel industry. We love to talk about travel. I'm sorry. We love to talk about cruise industry. We talk about a lot of travel. So, yeah, thanks for joining us. We're glad you're here. If you don't mind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video out, share this podcast out to your friends and family, and let them know that we are your one-stop shop for anything travel. Callie is really messing with my groove right now. We're probably going to fight.
I see. It's I was going to say, it looks like you're fighting somebody in the background. On TikTok, at least it does.
I'm not. It's just Callie. Yeah, she finally laid down. I think we're good. How's your week?
Good. Good. Do you ever find like when you have either gone on vacation? Yeah, it's mostly like when you've gone on vacation and you get back that you like dying to book another vacation. I'm like, I have vacation fever. And
Yeah.
so even though like
Oh yeah.
I have Disneyland coming up in October, and then we've been talking about the plans that have been changing constantly for our January trip, and I'm like dying to book another one. I'm like, I already had I have enough vacations booked, so I don't know. I'm in vacation fever mode. I'm having to control myself this week.
I mean, you kind of switched the script up the other night. Tell us about your plans changing in January now.
Yeah. So short story in the front. We're doing the Disney cruise. It's my first Disney cruise. So I'm excited about that. It's an agency trip. So we're going on the Destiny out of Fort Lauderdale. And then, which just so happens to be like right before my 25th wedding anniversary, which is not the vacation that Josh had planned in his head for our 25th anniversary. But it's he does like cruising, and it's a new cruise. So we were fine with that. And then when Olivia decided to cheer in college, I looked up to see when college nationals are, and it's the week after. So we get back from the cruise on a Monday. Thursday, we would have to be back in Orlando for nationals. So we just decided to book an extended stay. So we're going to stay for another week. We were supposed to stay in a cabin at Fort Wilderness. And then I think it was last Saturday, I text you and Katie. I'm like, okay, what would you do? I can change it to a Savannah View at Animal Kingdom Lodge or stay in the cabin. And of course, Katie was like, Animal Kingdom Savannah View Lodge, which is one of our bucket list resorts that we want to stay at. So we're like, okay, it's a little bit more than we would have paid at the cabin, but I'm like, it's our 25th anniversary. If we have to be in Disney, we might as well do something that we want. And then I needed one more night for the night that we get off the cruise. And so I was kind of looking, and then randomly yesterday, because we talked about it a little bit too, we hadn't done Universal in a while. So I ended up changing it up, and we're going to do 2 nights at Aventura when we get off the ship, and then we'll move over to Animal Kingdom Lodge. So we're going to kind of do a 3-in-1 vacation for our 25th anniversary. So fun times.
Yeah, it seems like
it's been
you're
a
gonna
minute
have a very
since we've
busy...
done Universal. So yes, which is
Yeah.
really what I didn't want to do, because Josh's thing is like, which the cruise will be relaxing though, because we've already decided like he rather stay on the ship. So I've already, like, when we go to Nassau, I'm gonna book as like the spa, like the use of the spa for that day, and just stay on the ship. I do want to get off when we go to Castaway, because I want to be able to experience that, because we haven't done that before. So it'll be kind of a relaxing cruise. But then when we get off, it's going to be hit the ground running, because we're going to do Universal only for 2 nights. You'll probably hit up the parks for a couple of days and then switch to Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom Lodge. And I want to do at least 2 days of Disney parks. Then we'll have the cheer competition. So it's definitely not going to be a relaxing vacation the second half. But
No,
oh well.
It never is. Not when you're involving theme parks.
Yeah. But
Rob
we
said
can leisurely go through
Adventura.
It doesn't have a D.
Yeah, and what Rob and I do, at work,
is that like an
he
inside
kept spelling it like that. Yeah, he kept spelling it like that for a long time at work. And I finally said, okay, we got to talk. There's no D there.
Yeah. I really wanted to book Helios, because I got to experience it. Josh didn't, especially with the new show. And I was like, okay, do I really want to splurge for our anniversary? But then it was like way more expensive. And I was like, okay, we gotta tame it down a little bit. So I decided to just stick with Aventura. And plus he stayed there before, he likes it, so it'll be good.
I've never stayed at Aventura, but I feel like I would like it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Those sound like fun changes to your trip. As always, we'll get a good trip report when you get back. We'll have a trip report from me next month. We're doing the Halloween party. We're just staying at Pop Century. Nowhere fun and exciting. Everyone knows about it. And yeah.
I like Pop though. Pop is exciting.
Yeah, Pop's the best moderate resort for a value price.
There you go.
That's what I always say. All right. News this week. We're gonna shift gears. I'm not gonna do Disney news. There wasn't a lot anyways, but we're gonna do Universal news because we are Universal this week. First big thing of news is that Universal debuted their nighttime fireworks show for Epic Park. It's called Celestial Goodnight. It debuted 2 nights ago, and holy cow, is it really cool!
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me if I watched a video, so to make me go and watch it, because I wasn't worried about like a spoiler on that. So it was pretty cool.
It was so cool. There was they basically like, send you off with a good night from all of. Do they call them portals there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do they call them? Yeah. So every portal like sends
Portals,
you off to have a good night. So there's a Mario themed one. There's a Mario section, a How to Train Your Dragon section. There's Harry Potter. There's monsters, and then there's just like a celestial one. That's all of them, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, lots of fireworks and fountains. Laura, your comment made me laugh because it's so true. You were like, wow, this is so much better than Epcot, because it is. It's just fountains and fireworks, and it is so much cooler than the Epcot fireworks.
Yeah, definitely.
Gabby and I, we watched Luminous. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead.
I was going to say we watched Luminous last month, and we were like, we really don't have to stay for this again because it's not great.
It's not that great. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was going to say it's not better than Happily Ever After or even Fantasmic, which is Fantasmic's not really a fireworks show, but definitely beats out Luminous.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like got the feels when I was watching it though, so I can only imagine like how I'll feel when I see it in person.
Like you might cry?
I don't know. But now I really need to go to Epic Universe. We cry. Yeah.
I mean, I know y'all can't, but it would have been perfect if you could go in January because I'll be there.
Yeah, maybe sometime soon. We're already trying to figure out the logistics of when we can take the little babe. So.
Yeah. Well, let me know. My offer still stands.
What is your offer again?
Lolo can come. I'll go, and Gabby and I can ride like the coaster rides that you and Josh don't want to ride. And then there's stuff that y'all want to ride that I wouldn't ride. Then I can hold the baby.
Yeah. I don't know. We might have to take you up on that sometime. I'm sure the stars will align at some point and that can happen.
Yes. Because, I love the babies.
Yeah. Next topic for news. Were a couple small Halloween Horror Nights 35 updates. Are you a Horror Nights lady? I forget.
No. Absolutely not.
I'm not either. I don't like haunted houses. I think I would be fine to just like go hang out and like the nighttime atmosphere, but I am not a haunted house person either. The only like 2 announcements there was they announced some show, one of the shows, it's called Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Noir. And some of the scare zones, they're starting to build some of the scare zones over at Universal Florida. So Universal Studios.
I may consider like the Stranger Things one, just because we all love Stranger Things, but I don't know that I love it that much. And I think was it last year that they had a Ghostbusters one? Like Josh loves Ghostbusters, so but neither one of us love it that much to where we would want to participate in that event. I'm just not down with the creepy stuff. Yeah,
I'm not either. I don't want to be intentionally scared. by any means.
Right?
Haunted Horror Nights. Why do I feel like I'm saying that wrong right now? Halloween Horror Nights. Sorry,
Halloween horror.
I had a brain fart. Yeah, I kept saying haunted.
That's funny.
The houses announced so far are Jack and Oddfellow, Chaos and Control, Stranger Things 5, Madlands, Cage Cannibals, Cybergoria, Invasion, Alien Abduction, HR Blood and Guts presents a Halloween Frightacular, Sinners, and Hellraiser are the current Halloween Horror Nights houses. I'm sure there will be some
I'm good.
late announcements that drop. Yeah, nope, that's okay.
Doesn't sound like it doesn't interest me at all. Like not even a little bit.
I'll just.
I'm happy to help folks book it, and I will do all the research and tell you it's there. But I'm not going. That's one thing. So we did a couple of years ago when we were there. Like Bethany even went. Like some of them went and did it just to experience it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. And then at the last minute, I chickened out and I did Mickey's Not So Scary with that group of people. I'm like, this is more my speed. Like I can do this. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know that I'd ever do it either.
Yeah.
Hagrid's is no longer available on the Express Pass. So if you go to Universal, you're expecting to use your Express Pass to ride Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. It's not going to happen.
I'm so confused on why they added it and then took it away.
I was trying to figure that out when I was researching. It basically said they're trying to help like the flow of it. So I wonder if there were too many Express Pass people and it was making the lines like outrageously long.
Yeah. Like I felt bad for the people who bought the Express Pass or even booked their hotels. Because I mean, Hagrid's is probably my favorite, not probably, it's my favorite ride out of all the Universal parks. So I get the attraction to it. I don't know that I would book, a resort just to stay to get the Express Pass for that one particular ride, but I get it that people that do. And so I know there was, because some of the agents that I work with were like, we're going to have some very upset clients when I have to call them and say, sorry, now it's not included. Because we just, it got hyped up like, oh, Hagrid is now included in the Express Pass, and then kind of went away.
Yeah, it does suck.
Yeah.
Now you got to rope drop it.
I remember we did that. The one first time I went to Universal with my agency, we got there and we all hightailed it to Hagrid's.
Because it's like in the back of the park, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hike. I wonder if I can get Josh to do it again.
Probably.
I don't know. Probably not. He hated it.
Oh. He didn't like Hagrid's?
So you know how I tell you I don't research rides. So like I had no idea. And I'm like, it's a motorbike. Like how bad can it be? Like you're riding on a motorbike. Oh, he wanted to kill me when he rode it. He was like he was not having it at all. I was laughing so hard because it was like me and the kids were loving it, I don't know. Braden wasn't with us, Olivia was, but yeah, I was like, sorry, my bad.
Oopsie daisies.
Yeah.
That's funny. Last bit of Universal Studios news is the Hot Dog Hall of Fame over at City Walk, which I've never visited. I passed by it, but I never realized it was like actually a thing.
I had never heard of that before.
Yeah. So the Hot Dog
Hall of Fame. I was curious what your note was. Like, yeah, I never heard of it.
Yeah, it's tucked away. I could tell you exactly where it is. I've just never been to it. And taking its place is Fat Ones Hot Dogs and Italian Ice by the one and only Orlando local Joey Fatone, aka the guy from NSYNC. Right? Is he NSYNC or Backstreet
Really?
Boys?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with that too.
Yeah.
Hot Dog Hall of Fame. I don't even remember seeing this.
It's like tucked away on the second floor, isn't it? Or is it on the first floor?
Oh, is it like where that Bow place is? And like Burger King and that
I thought it was. No, I thought it was on the other side, like towards Islands of Adventure. Hold on. I'm verifying now.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the map.
World's best
No, it
hot
says
dogs. Yeah, so it was looks like it's on the first floor. Between Big Fire and like the Universal Epic Store, maybe? I'm trying to get my bearings here.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so there's a Universal Studios store. I went from the first floor to the second floor rather quickly here. Come on.
So it's not in City Walk, or is it?
Yeah, it's in City Walk. Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. Oh, because the Universal store is like close to where the Voodoo Donuts is, right?
Yeah, kind of.
The map.
Why can I not place it right now?
I don't know. And every time I click on the map, it just goes to a general map. So
yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I hadn't heard of that. So I guess though, because we don't eat hot dogs ever, so that's probably why.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun times.
Yeah, good for Joey Fatone. I feel like he is like desperate to make a name for himself in the Orlando market. So hopefully he's doing something for himself now.
There you go.
Yeah. That is all I have for news. Would you like to introduce our topic tonight?
Sure. So tonight we are talking about Universal Orlando, to stay on site or to stay off site. So that's always a huge debate. I can see both sides of it, and I understand the argument on both sides of it. I will always advocate for on-site, no matter whether it be Disney, Universal, or wherever. There's, to me, the perks of staying on-site far outweigh the perks of staying off-site. Now, I have friends that they have annual passes at Disney, and they go. Matter of fact, I just found out they're leaving Monday. They go all the time, and they stay off-site always, and they love it. They have the same place that they stay at. Yes, the ones that we met when we were there. So I mean, it works for some people. So if it's an option of staying off-site is the only option for you to go, then of course I would do that. But there's, the value resorts are almost always going to match prices that you can get for something offsite. I mean, sometimes it won't. It'll be a little bit more. But again, the perks to me are just worth it.
Yeah, I think the benefits of staying on site far outweigh the cost or the money you're saving by staying off site.
Yeah, I mean, and it was kind of, when Bethany and I went to beaches, Turks and Caicos, and we were talking about like the all-inclusive stuff and how, that resort is expensive. However, if you stay off-site, then you got to think about, the food that you have to pay for, the transportation and all of those things. So it's kind of similar, although, like staying at a Universal resort, your food's not going to be included, of course. But it's just all of those things. You have to think about all of the extra things that you would have to pay for, like transportation to the parks, or parking if you're going to drive there, and gas, things like that. So, it will add up and maybe make the difference of picking like Dockside or Cabana Bay versus staying somewhere off-site.
100%. And what's funny is, and we'll talk about this kind of down the road as we get into our conversation, but I thought, I'm just going to see like what hotels are in like the vicinity of Universal Orlando, and wow, that was a big mistake because there were probably 200 just in that small 3-mile vicinity.
Yeah, there's a ton. And and then they have some luxury resorts that you can select, down to I don't know. I don't want to say a brand of hotel because it might be somebody's favorite, and I'm going to call it like the cheap one.
We have to do this or
there's
that.
a variety of.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
There's a variety.
No overthinking. Yeah, pick one. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, I'll call them out to you and you answer. Butterbeer, hot, frozen, or cold? As you made fun of me.
If I had to pick one, I'd pick cold, but I don't think butterbeer is good.
Really? Oh my God, it's so good. So, have you tried the frozen one?
No, and I haven't had butterbeer since I was in high school, and I didn't like it in high school, so I'm just assuming I wouldn't like it now, but my mind could definitely be changed.
Okay, next time you go try the frozen one. It's much better than the cold.
I have to go first.
Yeah. I know. Let's see what you're going to pick out of this one. Velocicoaster or Hagrid's?
Hagrid's.
Yeah. Harry Potter or Super Nintendo?
Harry Potter.
Fun. Thrill rides or immersive lands?
Immersive lands.
I figured. Front row or back row on a coaster?
Front row.
That question stresses me out. Express pass or VIP?
VIP tour. I'm more worried about learning about the parks rather than getting to the front of the line.
Yeah. Minions or monsters?
I think I'm going to go monsters.
Pool day or park day?
Park day.
Fun.
All right, your turn. Butterbeer. Hot, frozen, or cold?
Frozen. The hot was good. It's super sweet. Frozen's my favorite.
Interesting. Velocicoaster or Hagrid's?
Man, tough choice because I love them both, but I'm gonna have to go with Hagrid's.
Yeah, I feel like the animatronics elevate it.
Yeah.
Harry Potter or Super Nintendo?
I'm gonna go Harry Potter.
I almost wanted to go Super Nintendo because I knew you would go Harry Potter.
I do like the Super Nintendo area. It's just it's a lot. Like I don't know how anyone that has any kind of sensory issues or anything can go in there and be okay. It's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thrill rides or immersive lands?
Thrill rides.
Front row or back row on a roller coaster?
Man, I don't like either one. I like the middle, but if I had to pick, I guess I'm going to say, I don't know, because I feel like the back is faster and you feel it more in the back, but the front freaks me out being able to see it, but I guess I'll pick front.
Okay. Express pass or VIP tour?
VIP. Same.
Minions or monsters?
It's
a hard one.
I guess I'm gonna go monsters because the minions are cute and fun, but I did like the shoot, now I can't even think of the name of the ride, but the monster ride in that area was fun.
Isn't it Unchained? Monsters Unchained?
Yes.
Unleashed?
Yes.
Unchained.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you this question, but I obviously know it's pool day. So would you rather have a pool day or a park day?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with park day. Park day because I don't do pools.
Yep. No human soup.
Oh, gross.
Rob says, "Are you seeing?"
You said that? That's disgusting.
My comments.
What's that?
I'm not seeing them.
Your comments?
I only see 2 comments
TikTok
from Rob. I assume those are the only 2 ones he makes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's all I see too.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't like a human soup, so I figured you'd go with a park day.
Yeah. I wish I liked it, or I wish, especially because it's hot, and like you want to have just a chill day. Like I don't like to just lay out and like at home, I won't lay out in my backyard unless I can dip in the pool because it's hot and I don't want to just get hot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just can't do it. I mean, I've done it. I'm not going to say I've never done it. It's just not my favorite.
You've done it, but you're not proud of it.
Right.
That's funny.
So gross. Yeah, Willie's awake. Anyway, so
Yeah,
we
he
want to get
texted
on
me
to
and
our
said,
topic
Tell
of
Callie I said hi.
who did that?
My wife, she said, tell Callie I said hi, because Callie's just always here on the live stream.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, let's start the
Does
topic.
she always sit there like with you? Like wherever you are, she follows you, or is it just when you're in there?
It's just when I'm in
That's
here.
funny. Maybe she wants to be TikTok famous.
Maybe. Callie, do you want to be TikTok famous?
Yeah. Meanwhile, mine's in the other room barking his butt off. I don't know if you can hear him.
Oh, yeah.
So loud. So loud.
So funny.
Okay. We'll see if we're getting more entertainment from Callie. All right. So we're talking about on-site, off-site at Universal. And it really can kind of go anywhere, but we're going to mainly touch on Universal. So just for clarification, which I'm sure everybody who's listening knows, on-site means one of Universal's properties. Like Disney has, their on-site hotels, and then they have Good Neighbor hotels. Universal doesn't really have like a Good Neighbor hotel category. There's other ones that you can book that are nearby, but you're not going to get like a resort package. I mean, I guess you could if you book it through a travel agent and they book it through like one of our other, like booking engines that we can use, whatever. But on-site is all of Universal's on-site hotels. They have value resorts. There's the prime value resorts, which are a step above. So let me go back. Value Inn and Suites are the lower category. You have Cabana Bay, and then Dockside, and then Suites and Surfside. Then you have the prime value, which is almost like the moderate resorts over at Disney, where you have Aventura, and then the two new resorts over near Epic Universe, which are Stella Nova and Terra Luna. And then you have the signature collection resorts, which is going to be Portofino Bay, Hard Rock Hotel, Royal Pacific, Sapphire Falls, and Helios. The new one at Epic Universe.
What's your favorite?
And it's real. Well, I'm going to say Helios since I stayed there that's the only signature resort that I stayed at. And it's perfect because when you walk out of the hotel, you're walking right into Epic Universe. And so it's the only resort that they have that you literally, like walk inside into one of the parks. And even like Stella Nova, you can walk to Epic from there. So it's not on site like literally on site like Helios, but close enough. So
yeah.
They're fine. I've stayed at Cabana Bay, I've stayed at Dockside, I've stayed at Aventura, I've stayed at Stella Nova, and I've stayed at Helios. The only one that I was not my favorite, and then maybe Olivia was in 8th grade, so it was 5 years ago. We stayed at Dockside for a cheer trip, and I just remember it not being super comfortable, like the bed and the pillows, or more the pillows than the bed. I don't know, but it was a long time ago because I did ask my travel agent friends recently, just some different when we were trying to decide where we wanted to pick to stay, like what's some of their favorites. Even though I had stayed at a bunch of them, I always like getting other people's opinions when it's my own trip. It's so much harder to pick than if it was a client. I could just be like, oh, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
And a couple of them like Dockside, so it's probably just us. But now that I'm talking,
I have stayed at Cabana Bay, right? I think I've only stayed at Cabana Bay But I've been on the roof of many of these hotels.
That sounds scary.
It was fine. I got paid for it, so that's all that matters. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make my job sound like I'm
That's
like a top secret something. Been on the roof and I got paid for it.
There you go. Top
Yeah.
secret. Yeah. So it really just kind of depends on, and I know I have this comment there, and we kind of really touch on it in some of the other segments. So I won't go like into too much on this part, but it really just kind of depends. There's some people who are going to want to stay on site because you want the transportation, you want the convenience of being there. But there's some people who want to stay off site. They want to, like, unless you're going to get a suite, like just a regular hotel room may not be big enough. You might want to have, extra room. And so staying off site at like an Airbnb or, some kind of other vacation rental property might give you a little bit more space for the same amount of money. So it's really dependent on the people. I've had one family that I booked where they actually stayed off site. This was last year. This is my favorite client guy. He stayed off site for 2 weeks. But he, he has the means to elevate his trip. So he had transportation that picked him up every day and brought him to the parks. He did VIP tours. So it didn't really matter that he didn't stay on site because he had some of the other benefits. But yeah, it's just kind of a personal choice of what level of comfort that you're looking for.
Yeah, I think the benefit of staying on site is far outweighed solely because having and I say this with Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure in mind, but having to park and walk to the 2 Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, I've never done it, but it seems brutal. Like you have to park in a parking garage and then walk through all of City Walk just to get to the front entrance, and that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree. Like, I think we may have drove. No, because we stayed on site. Yeah, I've never driven to a park either. I don't think I could. I don't know. Again, if that's somebody's preference and that's what they want to do, of course I will help you do that. But it's just
right.
I haven't done it.
Mm-mm.
Some of the advantages of staying on site, like we've been talking about, is going to be the perks, that you get. So depending on what level, like for the value in and suites and the prime value resorts, you get the early park admission, you got complimentary transportation. It's close enough that if you wanted to go back and take an afternoon nap, you hop on the bus and you get back there. The signature collection, with the exception of Sapphire
Helios.
Falls
Oh.
and Helios. Yeah, you don't get the express pass. Or is it Royal? Now I'm confusing myself.
I thought you were gonna say that they're not as close, and I thought you were gonna go with the Helios, but now I see where you're going.
I gotcha. Yeah, don't get the express pass. And I don't know why I'm confusing myself on that.
I feel like you're right. It is port. I feel
So Sapphire Falls, you do not get.
Interesting.
Or did I say the other way? Now I'm confusing myself again. Hold up, because now I'm gonna. Yes, Royal Pacific, you do get express pass. Sapphire Falls, you don't. Okay, yes. So, so some of the, now of course those resorts are gonna cost a little bit more, but you get the express pass for free, and it's the unlimited express pass.
Right.
One of the things that, and I just didn't want. Josh and I are moving so many times on this trip that I didn't want. Daddy Josh. That I didn't want to do that, but there's a hack if you want to call it that. People will book one night at a signature resort because you get express pass for those 2 days for your check-in day and check-out day. And so they'll do that and then like maybe move to another resort that's cheaper and then just do standby lines and not have the express pass. So that's also an option too. Or, stay for a couple of nights, use the express pass and then switch to something different. Because one day with express pass is better than no days, I would imagine. One thing, I have not purchased, except for when we went in December, was the first time. I've never purchased the express pass before. I was always like, we don't need it because we kind of gone at off times where it wasn't crazy busy. But now that I had it at Epic Universe, I'm like, oh, this is great. You just walk up, you don't have to stand just like the same thing, with Lightning Lanes at Disney. It's just the express pass is a little bit more expensive, kind of more in line with the Premier Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not quite as much, but anyway. So the advantages of staying on site are just, I don't know, it's just so much better. You got the proximity, the convenience. And then it's also like I feel like if I went somewhere and stayed off site, like I wouldn't feel like, oh, I'm going, like this doesn't feel like a Disney trip to me, or it doesn't feel like a Universal trip because you're not immersed in it the whole entire vacation. It's just, oh, I'm spending a day at the park. And so, when I go to these locations, like I want to be all in it the whole time that I'm there. And so staying on site is really where it's at for me.
Yeah. Definitely being on site puts your it leaves you in the headspace of like being in a theme park and being fully immersed in the worlds that they want you to be. There's nothing wrong with a Hilton or a Hyatt or something like that with white walls and white bedding and everything like that, but there's definitely something different about going to a value resort where everything is catered to that resort. You have minions painted on the walls and different color bedding and at Cabana Bay even your amenities are retro themed, if you will. There's the VO5 soap if they still do that, and there's other things. So yeah, I definitely agree with you that being immersed within the hotels is definitely far beyond staying at a Hilton or a whatever down the road, as long as you can afford it. And like you said, there's people who can't afford it, and we completely understand that. And I have a feeling we have both been in those situations before where you just don't have the funds for it, and you make the most out of those trips. I mean, heck, I feel like I'm on a soapbox right now. Most of my childhood we did that. We stayed in a vacation home for a week, and we would drive to Disney for a day, or we'd drive to Universal for a day. And I remember those trips, and I have great memories from those trips. But the benefits to staying on site would elevate all of those experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And then you get to, when you check in at your resort, you go over to the entertainment desk. For the life of me, it just slipped my mind what it's called. And then you get your tickets right then. So, if not, when you get to the park, then you have to go to the ticket kiosk and get your tickets, to enter. So you can get everything knocked out. That way, if you decide to rope drop, you have your tickets, you have everything you need. You just head straight to the park and go straight in and not have to worry about, picking up your tickets before. So I feel like I'm not selling it enough, but there's just, it's just, to me, it's just part of the vacation, being able to stay in there. And I can almost promise you, if your time is, like the times that you can go are flexible, then you can absolutely find a value resort that will be comparable to something that's staying offsite.
Definitely. There were a few years where I went with my grandma once and I went with my dad once, and we stayed at Cabana Bay, but did everything at Disney. Like we just liked the immersiveness of Cabana Bay and how themed, like how wonderfully themed it was, and how cheap it was because there's always a deal with Allegiant Airlines. So we always booked that package, stayed at Cabana Bay, and did everything at Disney.
Yeah. No, I have people too that if they're going to do both parks, I'll give them options of staying all at Universal with a couple of days at Disney and vice versa. It just, or like a split stay, but it just really depends on, like for us, it wouldn't matter because we're not going to rope drop anyway. So we don't need the early
Yeah.
park hours. So it doesn't matter to us. The only difference now would be because if you book your lightning lanes, if you stay on site versus staying off site, when you can book them. But
Yeah.
definitely, sometimes the Universal resorts are a little bit more affordable than Disney sometimes.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's been times when Gabby and I have went to look at Disney trips, and I've also looked at Universal kind of side by side, and whenever I've looked, the pricing seems to be about the same, and there have been times when Universal was a little more expensive. But to your point, there's definitely times
Yeah.
when I stay at Universal, and a Universal trip is way more cheap than a Disney trip.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely. And then it depends on the promotions that they have going on. Sometimes Universal will have, like buy 2 days tickets, get 2 days free, or buy 3 days, get 2 days free, things like that. So, just like with Disney, you just compare. But again, if your dates are flexible, and you can go when kids are in school, you're going to get less crowds and, be a little bit cheaper. My eyes itching.
I just saw where Rob said I'm overpaid. That's funny.
I was just thinking you should give her a raise, Rob. I mean,
Yeah. We took one of my new hires to lunch today, and on the way to lunch, we walked to lunch. He looked at her and said, "Hey, I forgot to tell you, I'm rescheduling that meeting you and I were going to have about how you have a terrible boss."
Oh gosh. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for setting the stage early on.
Yeah, he typically does.
Yeah.
Oh, where are we here?
I say we move on to offsite.
Go for it.
Yep. So again, I want to help people who, and it might not even be a money issue. Like some people, like especially like, okay, so if it's a couple, of course, a standard hotel room, like is fine. But if you are a larger family where you might have 3 kids or, like have extended family coming and you want to stay offsite because you can get an Airbnb or you can get somewhere that has more space and you're more comfortable, then there are plenty of options for that. They have, as Ashley was saying, there's hundreds of hotels that are in that area that may even offer, like we stayed at, this is in Disney Springs, but it was a DoubleTree that had, a separate bedroom. And then it had like a little living area that the bed, the sofa turned into a sofa bed, but at least you had 2 separate spaces. So you have more options. There also are some luxury offsites, like there's Evermore, which a bunch of us had talked about it at one point, is like booking a weekend at Evermore and just kind of like brainstorming, like doing our TA talk where we talk about best strategies, like not even going to parks or anything, just kind of like checking it out. Of course, you can have like Waldorf Astoria,
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody staying offsite wants to stay in a cheap hotel. They just might want extra space. Like my client, they stayed in like a 2-bedroom villa at the resort that he stayed at offsite.
Yeah, yeah, I was just gonna say I don't know where your client stayed, but I went a while ago and we stayed at the Blue Heron Beach Resort, and it's right off of, it's like right outside of the Vineland Premium Outlets, right there by Disney.
Mm-hmm.
We had, it was like a suite. We had a kitchen. I was making sure you could hear me. We had a suite. We had a kitchen. There's a pool. There's a lake view. Like, we had all the things, and it was a really great stay. So it doesn't mean it was lesser of a stay than anything that would happen at Universal Orlando.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that the kitchen is a good point. Some people like to be able to cook, like they don't want to go and eat all the food at the parks. So if you get something that has a kitchen, then you can get groceries delivered And that's, that's a cost savings too. Because you probably can get a week's worth of groceries price of one day of eating, maybe in the parks, depending on how much you guys eat. Or, so you can get, some hotels have free breakfast. Like they have the Drury Inn that's right there. Again, it's by Disney Springs, but it's not that far. They have free breakfast. Some of the Embassy Suites will offer free breakfast. So there's some hotels that you can get free breakfast at. So eat breakfast in the hotel, and then, especially if you eat it a little bit later and maybe just eat lunch or late lunch or dinner, you could save some money there. Some people build up a lot of loyalty points and hotel rewards points with their credit cards and things like that. So if you want to, are you laughing at Rob?
Well, I'm laughing because when I travel with Rob, he offers to book my hotel room so he can get my points. So he definitely capitalizes on the points thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's not, when I have a client who wants to use points, that's not something that I can help with, because we can't book trips with their points, but we could still help with like tickets and things like that. But a lot of people do that. If you travel a lot, especially if you travel a lot for business and you're racking up points, you want to use them on a vacation, and then it's just the flexibility too. If you want to do, like say you want to do SeaWorld or Disney and Universal all in the same trip, if you stay somewhere that's centrally located, then, it's ease of going to the different parks. And sometimes people don't want to just do Disney or Universal. Like they want to be in the area we've talked about, they have Discovery Cove there, or just other stuff that they want to do outside of theme parks. And so maybe it makes more sense to kind of stay off site.
I have two things. One, if you are interested in staying off site and want to immerse yourself in the Orlando culture and, just things of that nature, one of my favorite vloggers, Mammoth Club, Molly and Alan, they did a video series on like local places to eat. And I highly recommend that video if you're ever interested in just like staying off site, not doing a theme park day, and just having a day in Orlando. There's a couple great places that they eat at. The food looks amazing that I would highly recommend. Second thing is, what is your opinion, Lori, on the conversation of do we rent a car or do we just Uber or Lyft to all the parks? What do you say to like the financial aspect of that?
I think it's going to be, I think it'll kind of even out. You do have to pay for parking though. If you stay off site, you got to pay to park at the parks, and then you got to pay the rental car fees. To me, I don't want to have to drive when I'm there. So we haven't rented a car we always stay on site too, but like Lyft is typically cheaper. Like I find that Lyft is not really expensive when you're in that area. I always tell my clients, check both of them, pull up Uber, right? Why did it sound weird?
It's Uber.
Pull up Lyft and Uber and see which one, is more cost efficient. And it's almost always going to be Lyft on the rare occasions. Now, when we're there for cheer, I feel like it's spiked up because everybody's trying to get one. And so the prices kind of elevate a little bit. But I recommend just now, if you're park hopping, well, it doesn't matter at Universal because the parks are right there by each other and you got to come through City Walk. So it doesn't matter if you park at one, unless you want to go to Epic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably just do rideshare versus renting a car.
Okay.
Unless you want to do other things and not just the theme parks, because then you have the car that can take you around. If you're strictly staying off site and you're only going to the parks and back to the hotel, then I would say maybe use the rideshare. But if you want to explore Orlando, like go check out some of the what's the Disney stores,
the premium outlets,
like the outlets or something like that, then I would say rent a car.
Yeah, I think I don't have a position on it. I think you're totally right. It caters to whatever you want to do, but we are a 14-hour drive comfortably from Disney, and I think I've driven just about as much as I've flown. So, there's times when we've driven and we've stayed at Disney, we've done all the Disney parks, but there's days when we jump off site. We'll go to, Character Warehouse at the premium outlets, or we'll hop over to City Walk or do something else. So, it's almost akin to renting a car, but yeah, I don't have an opinion on either. You're right. It's whatever you decide you want to do with your time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some people just like to have the control too, to come and go when they want and not have to sit around and wait, for a ride to pick them up. Especially when it's late at night and you have little kids and you're like, I just want to get in the car and go.
Yep.
Or if you need car seats and you don't want to have to worry about finding a ride share that has car seats, then a rental car makes more sense.
Yeah, that was our concern. A couple years ago, we took we didn't take the Magical Express. We took something else, but we didn't know if we'd need car seats or not because they sent us a smaller car at one point. So like technically, we would have needed car seats, but we ended up being fine. So yeah, the car seats is a good point.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So it's really down to if you're saving money or not saving money. So I always recommend, first I always recommend to use me so that way I can gather all the costs and give you the option to let you weigh out which option is better for you.
Lori
But if you're like Ashley and want to do it yourself, then I highly suggest make a list, put everything in there, and just you can you can look these days with AI and with Google searching, you can search like how much would a ride share cost from this hotel to this park, and just kind of lay it all out. Use a spreadsheet. I love my spreadsheets for every trip, just calculating everything out, which is not always a good idea. But if you're trying to compare the options, you need to see where you are, so that way you kind of compare an apples to apples, like look at the extra costs, if you're going to stay off site, do they have resort fees? Do they have parking overnight if you have a car? If not, like transportation, if you're not going to rent a car, transportation to and from the parks, and line them up side by side and just kind of see if it's a huge difference. And of course, well, first of all, if it's like a big gap, make sure that the hotel that you book in is not ratchet and somewhere that you don't want to stay, because cheap is not always good. And I will say, and I shouldn't even admit this online, but Olivia and I think I told you, Olivia and I, when we went to Thibodeau one night, she had to be there in the evening for cheer and then back early in the morning. So I went with her. And so, I mean, I don't even remember if it was a Hilton hotel or Hampton. I can't remember. I mean, or a Marriott. I don't remember. But it was the closest one to the college. And I stayed there. I didn't even check the reviews like an idiot. And we got in there and I told Olivia, I was like, well, I know for one thing, I will not be staying here with your dad because this is not on the level where we would normally stay. So cheap isn't always good. You want to make sure that you're getting something that's at least comfortable, that you're not going to be miserable in and stay. And then, weigh it out. If it's a huge difference and you want to go off site, you're still going to have fun because you're still going to go to the parks. But if it's not a big gap and you're able to spring a little bit more, then stay on site and stay where, you're fully immersed in the whole vacation. And it just feels like it's, more of a vacation, even when you're back in the room, like just at the hotel, they have, all the hotels have a little store. So you can even go walk around in the store. They have the food courts and it's just so much better staying on site.
Yeah, and I think a point we haven't made, and hopefully it's glaringly obvious to everyone, is that your vacation is what you make of it. We talk about doing all these things and all these experiences at all of these theme parks, but at the end of the day, you make the best of your trip, and you're not in charge of making the memories per se, but like you do what you can, We've both
Yeah,
stayed off
absolutely.
site. We've stayed on site, and you still have memories from both of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Shoot, I went with my grandmother when I was 12. I couldn't tell you where we stayed at. I actually can't really tell you. That was 40 years ago. That's a
It's
jeez.
crazy.
Oh, I don't even remember much about the trip, but I do remember certain things. And so it again, where I stayed at wasn't important, especially when you have
Yeah.
kids, they're not going to care. Just go and
No,
have fun.
they're
Make
just-
it all about what
Yeah.
you can do. And again, not to keep promoting my services, but that's why I do not ask clients up front. And I've said this before, don't ask anyone for a budget, which makes my job more difficult because I have no idea what you're comfortable spending. But I don't do that because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm maximizing their budget, because I want them to come back to me over and over again, because I want them to go and have a good time. And so we talk about what's going to make it work for your family. What are the things that are most important to you? And we find a vacation that will fit. And so, it's just really comparing convenience versus cost versus what works best for your family.
Absolutely.
I'm struggling to breathe over here. And the more I talk, it's getting worse. Maybe it's this office. Cause like I've been this morning when I first came in here, I told Josh, I was like, God, I hope I'm not getting sick, cause I feel like I can't. And then I was fine. And now it's like, I'm getting all congested again.
Do you want me to take the last section from you? Would that help you?
Sure.
That's the one we're on, right?
Yeah. Which,
Okay.
I mean, I kind of feel
Just
like
make
even
sure.
we hit on a lot of it. So just kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, no, I'll take over the last section so you can breathe. Just trying to put a pretty bow on all of this, really. How do you make staying on site fit in your budget if that's something that you want to pursue? You don't have to stay at the most expensive resort. I feel like Lori and I have talked about a bunch. We stay at the cheap resorts all the time. My wife and I stayed at All Star Sports last month, and I think we've stayed at All Star Sports the last few times we've gone to Disney, and that's bottom of the barrel. But like Lori says, it's just kind of picking the right category that you need. If you're just coming and going, you just need a bed to sleep on, a place to relax every couple hours, great. Pick the inns and I forget what do they call it? The inn and
Dockside and Surfside. Yeah.
the value inn and suites. Those are your hotels that are going to have doors on the outside, so they're going to be a little cheaper. Well, I guess Dockside and Surfside don't, do they?
No, I think just Cabana Bay
I misspoke there.
has
sorry.
the.
Yeah.
Well, you could be right.
Yeah,
I
if
could
you
be
just
wrong.
need a place to put your head and a place to relax. No, I think you're right.
Yeah,
if you just need a place to put your head, then great. Just stay at a value inn and suite, or even they call them value hotels, but Lori was talking about, they're kind of like a moderate category. If you're looking to spend a little more time at your hotel and be a little more leisurely with your days, great. Pick those value hotels for Universal. Those Aventuras, not Adventuras, but Aventuras. The Stella Nova, the Terra Nova resorts. And then if you're really wanting to maximize that relaxation time, you're going to want to pick the more premium resorts. The Signature Collection of Portofino Bay, Hard Rock Cafe, Sapphire Falls. They cost a little more because they have more experiences to offer you. You get the, I don't know if Hard Rock, I'm sure they do, but you get the massages, you get the fine dining, you get the nicer pools and the more immersive outside environments because you're paying more. And if that matters to you, then great. Do that for yourself.
Absolutely.
But what we really want to try and hit on here is that you don't have to splurge on a premium hotel just to have a good vacation.
Yeah. I mean, if you do, I'm happy to help you.
All right. Lori T at masscounselors.com.
Yes. Yeah, no, I was very tempted to book, I think we were talking about it before, to book one of the signature hotels for the 2 nights that we're going to do when we go in January. But we opted to do that at Disney. So I sacrificed. But I picked the prime value. It's one that I know we're going to be comfortable at. We've stayed there before. So it's good for our family.
Yeah, definitely. And use the split stay strategy, like Lori was saying. If you want to maximize that express pass, great. Book yourself a night at the Hard Rock Hotel or Portofino Bay or something, and then the next day,
Yep.
check your little tushy into a value resort where you belong. Because at least you get to
Yeah.
utilize that express pass on your check-in and check-out day.
Yeah. Definitely.
I've only stayed at Universal once or twice, so I tend to talk more about Disney, but even at Disney, we've operated under the split stay. We stayed at Coronado for a couple nights and tried to be bougie, and then hightailed it over to All Star Movies, where we belong. It's cheaper, it's
Yeah.
more cost effective, and it does suck to switch in the middle, but it saves money.
Yeah. I would do All-Star first, then switch.
Yeah, we were only thinking
Ended on
about
a good
that when
note.
we did it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, either way is fine.
Yeah, definitely. And then the last thing that really you hit on here, Lori, is you want to compare the total cost of your whole trip, not just the price per room. Especially if you're booking a package through Universal, they're wrapping all of that cost into one rather than looking at, your room per night. They're wrapping in ticket package, room stay. I think they have a version of a dining plan that's not great, but like they're wrapping all those things into
Yeah,
one for
not
you.
anymore.
Yeah, they're wrapping all of that into one, and they're probably cutting some money off of that where they can in order to get you the best deal you can.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because I totally forgot about that. So when you're staying on site, Universal, the deposit is $50 per person. And then you have until 45 days before you check in to pay off that package. So book it far in advance, and then you have time to kind of make payments on it. If you stay off site, then like you have to pay for your tickets in full when you buy them. So you don't get the deposit and then kind of make payments on it as you go. So that's also another kind of way to look at it too.
Yeah, I've heard that also, to kind of build on the weird quirks, is if you book through and please correct me if I'm wrong because I would love to be wrong, but if you book through like Expedia, then sometimes they aren't up to speed on like the room availability. So you could book a room and show up and they don't have a room for you. And you're kind of SOL at that point.
And I'm not just saying it for people to book with, through a travel agent, but any of those third party, like, yeah. And if something happens and you show up, or if anything goes wrong with your vacation, you don't have a dedicated person that's sitting there. I would rather you book directly with Universal than book through like a third party. Sometimes you might get cheaper rates, but you get what you pay for. And if something happens, like Costco is one. It hasn't happened to me in a while, but I've had people say, "Oh, I can get this cheaper through Costco," and I'm like, "Yeah, you can."
Right.
Because what happens is Costco and Expedia, like these are big companies. You don't have a dedicated agent that's working directly for you, so they don't necessarily need to keep the commission. So they can benefit, not benefit, like I don't want to say rebate, but kind of rebate the trip a little bit because they're not paying out that commission to a live agent. But if you have to cancel or if you have an emergency, good luck, because they're not going to work with you and help you to to make changes or to if you need to cancel. So always caution with using one of those companies.
Yeah, at least when you're staying on site, they can help you cater. They can cater to you more readily than an Expedia or a Costco can. If something happens to you while you're at Universal, great, go down to the front desk, they'll find you a room, they'll comp your stay, they'll do whatever. But you book through an Expedia or a Costco, like you're saying, Lori, you're gonna spend at least a half hour on the phone before you talk to anybody. And then you've got another hour until you get at least some type of resolution, and then it's that money will show up in your bank account in 3 weeks, where Universal will just take care of it on the spot.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we did it. I think we covered the Universal stay.
Yeah, I think so. I'm
Absolutely.
excited now that we're going to Universal. because it's been a minute. Like I did Epic Universe 3 times last year, but I haven't been to the other 2 parks.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do Universal next year. We need to go. I've been trying to get Gab to go.
Yeah. You definitely need a babysitter to come for that because there's not a lot of stuff a baby can do.
Wow, I wonder if anyone's free to do that. That'd be weird.
I don't know, but I'm sure I know somebody who's probably free anytime.
Yeah, and they're a travel agent. How about that?
Exactly.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for listening tonight. We always appreciate everyone showing up, and Rob when he's in the comments, I suppose. We look forward to chatting with you every night. Like I said, every Thursday night, we're right here on your Facebook feed, your YouTube feed at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. You will hear this episode on Tuesday morning. Lori has just promoted the crap out of herself tonight, so I would be remiss if I did not remind you to email her at lorit@mousecounselors.com, or you can go follow her at something about a vacation and Lori Talamo. I'm going to write it down right now.
Travel with Lori Talamo. Travel with Lori Talamo.
With Lori Talamo. I wrote it, so I'm never going to forget it.
There you go. Well, at least you got the email. I was right.
Yeah, I've said it enough now. Outside of Lori, make sure you go follow us on all our social media at Going Beyond the Castle Podcast. We have a website, goingbeyondthecastle.com. We also have a Beacons channel. It's beacons.ai/Going Beyond the Castle. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great rest of your week, and we look forward to seeing you next week when Gabby and I, and Lori, she'll be there, I guess, we will recap our experience with the Disney dining plan when we were at Disney last week. I'm really excited to talk about that because we have not broke down the cost yet, and that episode is where we will break it down. What did we spend on the dining plan?
I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, what did we spend on the dining plan versus what our food actually would have costed? I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it. I'm
excited because it'll be the first time I'll get to be on with Gabby. Because usually she's on when I'm not here.
Yeah.
Right? And she hasn't been on with the 2 of us, has she?
Yeah, she did the spin wheel thing with us.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, Gab.
Yeah. She's asleep. It's fine.
Just tell her, I have menopause brain. I don't remember things.
Just blame it on the menopause, Lori. That's it.
I know. Hey, me and my friends that are going through it, we blame menopause on everything.
Got it.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good night, and we will see you next week right here on Facebook or YouTube at Going Beyond the Castle. Thanks. See you later.
See ya.
I lost my mouse. There it is.
This is so funny. We had the same trouble last week. We couldn't go offline.
What is going on here? I am so glad everyone gets to see this chaos. What am I missing? I feel like the end button is gone.
Oh my gosh. Wait. Didn't I have to do it last time?
Maybe.
I could. It just says leave the session.
Same. I'm just gonna leave. Goodbye, everyone.